Hello, welcome back to Tour of the Palette. I am the host with the roast beef. I am going to be cooking food from Uzbekistan today. So hopefully everybody is having a nice week. And I am going to be making a dish called Bukharan Plov. It is a stewed stew with rice and carrots and cumin seeds and barberries and garlic and onions and Chuck roast, not a person named Chuck. So let's look at the spread of things that we have going on. So we have our onion. Whoops. Okay, so we have our onion, diced, 2 onions. We have our carrots that I chopped, like cut into little things and then shredded them. I've got some cayenne, cumin seed, barberries, ground chuck that I've chopped into squares or cubes, sesame oil, vegetable oil, and that about does it, and some rice. So that's what we're working with. That is the spread. And I butterstock with the puns. Okay, first thing I need to do is I need to heat this pot so I can start cooking the garlic and the onions. How's everybody's week? Feels like it's almost fall. I don't know if you can tell by the light difference. And I guess I'm starting to cook a little bit later this time than I normally do. But yeah, it's getting a little darker earlier. So there's that. But yeah, I love this time of year. There's always something to appreciate about every time of year. But this time of year is one of my favorites because it's one of those times where you can kind of wear a hoodie or you can wear a short sleeve shirt or a tank top. And there we go. Okay. Hope that everybody is enjoying their Tuesday. In Kansas City, it was a little rainy this morning, and getting to clearer skies, and it's supposed to be nice for the rest of the week. A little warm, but nice nonetheless. In case you were tuning in for a weather update. What can I say? All right. So let this heat up a little bit, and I'm going to put in the oil. So some vegetable oil and sesame oil. Just mix that stuff together. If you have never cooked with sesame oil, it is fragrant. It is potent. It is delicious. I cook a lot and often with sesame oil, which I just touched a hot pan. Let me just see a little speck of dirt in here that I don't really want on the food. So I'm going to get that out. Yeah, dude, and stir fry, fried rice. Fried rice is so easy to make. I always say that. You can actually make fried rice in the microwave. Maybe I'll do that sometime as a bonus episode or something. But yeah, so we're gonna cook the onions and the garlic. So I'm gonna get that stuff over here and ready to dump in. And yeah, the sesame oil, it just smells really good. It adds like a richness to the food. Tasty treats. And for any of you that are traveling this week, I hope everybody has safe travels. Shout out to Sarah. Glad that she got to Denver and doing the things and the stuff. It's crazy to think that like in the United States, you've got like certain geographic, like you can go from one place that's totally mountainous and rocky to a totally different experience, all within the same country, and sometimes even within the same state, like California's that way. Go really far south in California, you can hit like oh like ocean, like flatter area, like the closer you get to Mexico, and then the farther north you get, it's really rocky and mountainous and just really cool that you can have that experience. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and toss these onions in, and the garlic. Can't waste any of that. Go ahead and get the spoon out. There we go. My eyes were deceiving me for a little bit. Nice. Okay. Maybe the pan was not hot enough. That's okay. It'll still cook fine. Really what we're going to do is just sweat the aromatics and get everything all translucent. So that's pretty normal, pretty common. Okay, there we go. Does anybody have any fall travel plans? I'm super pumped. My dad and my stepmom are coming to Kansas City, and very, very excited to see them. It's funny because like I've never really thought of her as my stepmom. I've always just thought of her as my mom. So it feels weird to say that. Same with my step siblings. I don't really think of them as like step family. I think of them as just my family. So I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but shout out to Courtney, Cameron, and Kaylin. Hope you all are doing well. Not sure if you will ever watch this, but should you? Hi! Making some food. Okie dokie then. This is gonna cook down, and I forgot to get some of this onion skin out of here, so I'm glad I'm finding that. This is maybe like a general cooking tip. You always want to take all of the skin out. If you find any skin or root particles, it will make your food taste bitter. So always pull that out when you can. I'm just gonna set it, no, I'm not gonna set a timer. Yeah, but I'm just gonna cook this down for about 15 minutes. Actually, this will be a good opportunity for me to talk about the dining customs and food culture of Uzbekistan. Ooh, onions and garlic smell so good. Yum. Okay, so I'm gonna stir this and talk at the same time, so we're not just like sitting here staring at each other. Have you ever been out to dinner? Friends, family, friends, Romans, countrymen. And the conversation hit a lull, and you felt the need to just start talking again or like have something break the silence. It's kind of really wonderful when you have people in your life, and maybe this is just something that you practice, but I feel very fortunate that there are people that I can go out and hang out with, and we don't even have to really say anything. Not throughout the whole meal, because I like to find out how people are doing, what they think about things, and have good conversation. But when the conversation hits a pause, I don't feel the need to just keep talking. And I don't think they do either. And sometimes it's just nice to just like sit there in the moment and let it kind of simmer. Like food. So Uzbekistan has one of Central Asia's most distinctive and flavorful culinary traditions, shaped by its position along the Silk Road and influences from Persian, Turkish, Russian, and Chinese cuisine. Staple foods and signature dish. Uh, the cornerstone of Uzbek cuisine is osh, which is Plov, but I think it's Uzbek to say is pronounced osh. It is a fragrant rice pilaf cooked with lamb, beef, or chicken, carrots, and onions in a special heavy pot called a kazan. And I do not have a kazan. I tried to find one, but it's like massive, huge thing, and it would not probably fit on the stovetop. So, and I'm not sure how often I'll be cooking Uzbek food, so I didn't think it appropriate to get one. But yeah, so that's what we're making tonight. This national dish varies by region but remains central to Uzbek identity. Bread holds sacred significance as well, with naan, or traditional flatbread, baked in clay ovens called tandoors and never thrown away or placed face down. Other essential dishes include manti, which are large steamed dumplings filled with meat and onions, lagman, or hand-pulled noodle soup, and shashlik, or grilled meat kebabs, and samsa, or baked pastries filled with meat, pumpkin, or potatoes, and shorpa, a hearty meat and vegetable soup. That is yet another staple. Uzbek cooking emphasizes fresh herbs like cilantro, dill, and parsley, along with spices like cumin, coriander, and barberries, which I have some barberries. Had to go to a world market to find them because they don't carry them in like your chain grocery store. I'm speaking from the United States perspective. Rice, wheat, mutton, beef, and seasonal vegetables form the foundation, while dairy products like suzma, or strained yogurt, and katik, or fermented milk, are common. Dining customs and etiquette. Meals are deeply communal experiences. Traditional dining occurs on low tables or carpets with diners sitting cross-legged. Before and after meals, a ritual hand washing with water poured from a special pitcher called a chugun is customary. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Bread is treated with reverence, is broken by hand rather than cut with a knife, and the eldest person typically breaks and distributes it, which is really neat. Tea culture is paramount, with green tea preferred in summer and black tea in winter, served in small bowls called piyala. Hospitality. Uzbek hospitality is legendary. Guests are honored with elaborate spreads, and refusing food can be considered impolite. So if you're in Uzbekistan and somebody offers you food, it is wise to take it, even just to try it. Meals often begin with tea and sweets, followed with appetizers, main courses, and conclude with more tea. The host takes pride in ensuring guests are well fed, and meals can extend for hours. This is social gathering. It's also pretty common with a lot of other cultures and countries that I've cooked from so far. Okay, this is looking and smelling pretty darn good. Not quite there yet, though. Different regions have their specialties. Tashkent is known for its osh variations. Samarkand, sorry, I should have practiced before I pronounced it, for its bread and sweets, and Fergana Valley for its fruit and dairy products. The cuisine reflects both nomadic traditions and the settled agricultural lifestyle of oasis cities. This rich culinary heritage continues to be a source of national pride and cultural identity for Uzbeks today. So yeah, kind of neat in the grand scheme of all of that. It's fun to learn about the places that we're cooking every week. And I know I've said this probably every week, or mostly every week, but food is a sacred and special part of culture in every country that I've cooked for. And it is interesting how certain foods are revered in a way that, like, you won't even, like in this situation, they said they don't even throw bread away and they don't put it face down. So, interesting stuff. Sorry for the clanking. Okay, so I'm going to need to put this on a plate, so I'm going to grab a plate real quick. Or I guess I don't need a plate, I can just put it in a bowl. Grab a bowl. Maybe I'll use this one. if I would, actually that's a little bit too small. If I would have had my wits about me, I would have just used the same bowl and saved it from when I was preparing them. So, all right. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is, huh. This is looking pretty close. We're doing on time. Guess I can see how long this video's been going. About 16 minutes. Pretty close. Yeah, these onions are, the oil's disappearing fairly quickly. So I put these probably another minute, and then I'm going to be cooking the beef. And it says I'm supposed to cook the beef in batches. It also doesn't say to put anything in here to cook the beef. So maybe it's just expecting that it'll render down because it's kind of fatty. Reminds me of this funny joke. I went to the doctor and they said, you shouldn't eat anything more fatty. And I said, like anything? Like what about cookies or ice cream? They said, no. No, fatty. You shouldn't eat anymore. Anyway, I totally butchered the delivery of that joke, but I think you get the gist. Okay. Looks good. I'm going to start taking this stuff out. Actually, it'd probably be easier to do it this way. So let it all kind of come out this way. Alright, almost there. And I know this is probably going to be a little bit longer to do. So I'm just going to start cooking this stuff. The meat, apples and bananas. Gotta meat, ooples and bananas. Okie dokie, artichoke. There we go. What is that? Silly piece of green leaf. Okay. Probably be good two batcher. Let that fat kind of cook down a little bit. So I won't be excruciatingly boring and have everybody watch this, but just show you what I'm doing. Got some beef right there with some top chuck roast, and I will be back in a little bit.